I think when people sneeze, I'm done saying bless you to them. Thoughts, comments, questions, concerns? I think I don't think it's really necessary to say that because bless you again. Maybe I'll have to Google it, but no, not going to do that yet. Not going to Google it. Just going to guess what it is. Well, like, bless you. I think the old wives' tale part of it, which funny, it's always called old wives' tale, never old husbands' tales, because the wives are the one that's going crazy, things like that, as exhibited by the Salem witch trials. Was it the gluten that messed him up or something? The original celiac disease. Maybe that's where that started at. The whole gluten free thing is some issue that Salem had in Massachusetts. 3, 2, 1. Hello, welcome to the Pretty Huge Dilemma podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Barrett. Today, I'm going to redo that. All right, 3, 2, 1. Hello, welcome into the Pretty Huge Dilemma podcast. Today, we're going to get into my Netflix debut, a social habit or norm that I'm against and might not be continuing, and into a backyard design debacle that this household is currently in. Not sure where it will end. It's probably going to be continuing for the foreseeable future, and we'll see how it goes. All right, just a couple intros took that time. Oh, and please make sure to like, subscribe, comment, reach out, DM, watch pretty huge reviews, watch pretty huge dilemma TV, PhD TV. Yes, those. I need see. Maybe I need to come out with the standard thing to say for that. I kind of like just mixing it up and whatever I think about saying that instead of having it planned out. Because then it's more authentic, more what's the top of my brain. Because pretty huge reviews just recorded a number of them of random things. So tune in to watch those. I think those first episode came out Monday, and it'll be going on for the next couple weeks. Today, man, not too much going on. I got my Cardinal shirt on, which I'm not a 162er, maybe become an 87er, because between today and the start of the NFL season, there's 87 Cardinals baseball games that will be happening. So maybe those I'll actually tune in for, because the sports are starting to get sparse. And I was right in my prediction of the Spurs getting to the next round, but continuing to lose to the Knicks. I guess I didn't make a pre-prediction for that. I should have gone back to back on those. Guess I didn't understand how the schedule works for that, and if I was more confident in saying Spurs would win, maybe I would have given a prediction for what the finals are at this point. But at this point, to give a prediction of what the finals outcome would be, let's say a majority of them is leaning towards the Knicks winning it. Maybe the more interesting thing would be like how many games it'll take the Knicks to win. Because if you win two on the road in San Antonio, and now you're going back home to New York, some people might say those games are supposedly easier because they're at home. But even the Spurs games, there were a number of Knicks celebrities there in the crowd, and you can name a lot more Knicks celebrities that were there than Spurs celebrities that were there. Which the Spurs, I don't know who celebrities are that come out of San Antonio. You can name ones from Texas, the country music stars, some NFL people, but from San Antonio specifically, I don't know who to name. It hasn't been brought up in the broadcast. The only people from San Antonio side that get brought up are former coaches and players who were on the team. They talk about Tim Duncan being there, Greg Popovich, Manu Ginobili, David Robinson being in the crowd. No Tony Parker. You think Tony Parker would be there supporting his fellow Frenchman, Victor Wembanyama. But I haven't heard about him being in the stands, haven't seen him on the broadcast. Maybe there's a touchy relationship in France between those two and what's happened with the national team. I would assume Tony Parker is associated with the France team somehow. I don't know. He could just be off enjoying retirement, enjoying just not coming back and ruining the legacy he made. Oh no, there's a fly in here. Where's I don't know if I got it. Probably did. Put back the replay. Slow motion. I definitely got that. But with that, going on, the NFL, the NHL playoffs, which, oh, it's still there. I was knocked over the camera. So it's that NHL ones. I haven't been watching those either. The Knights and the Hurricanes, they don't interest me too much. Sports, I've been watching that. So yeah, getting limited on the number of sports right now. Getting to where the only things are golf, racing, and baseball, and whatever random sports show up on Amazon Live, like pickleball, so like that. I don't know what the schedule is for arena football. Oh, the UFL. I think that's going on. No clue what's been happening in that. Maybe they're making money now. I don't know. I haven't heard too much about that. But anyway, to what the topics I brought up. So I mentioned making my Netflix debut, which didn't happen at the Kill Tony show. I don't even know where that episode came out. Their Dallas, Texas show. I gotta look to see where that's at. I don't know if it's been posted on YouTube yet or if that went to Netflix. I'm not sure which one it did. I never really went through the breakdown of the comedians that were there and what happened with it because I know they backlog things. And since I had seen on YouTube, I just assumed they kept holding on to it. So I'll have to figure out the status of that. Maybe go through and relive those days for it. But if that is on Netflix, which, spoiler alert, I didn't get picked out of the bucket for it. I don't know how much of a spoiler that is. Didn't happen. Signed up for it. Didn't get picked. Was nervous the entire time seeing the crowd. Every time someone would walk past who was wearing all black, because I assume if you're working on that production, it was standard to be wearing all black. Anytime someone, and it was dark, so I couldn't tell what color some people's shirts were. If it was just a dark blue, kind of looked like all black. Every time someone walked up or down the aisle, I was looking over my shoulder, thinking if they're coming to get me out of my seat. But that didn't happen. So I don't think I made my Netflix debut. I don't know if they had any cuts to the crowd of people laughing. They didn't have too many cameras. Usually in the Kill Tony shows, there aren't that many like cuts to the crowds of things. But there's an instance that happened recently where it might be on there. So went to the Nate Bargatze special. Well, went to see him in person. So I got tickets months ago. Went there and learned about a week in advance. He made it his special taping. So in specials a lot more often they do cuts to the crowds, different things like that. I think I tried to laugh more in it because if you're going to get put on Netflix, it's going to be someone who's laughing. I think I was able to understand most of the jokes. Wasn't too many old-timey references of things. So I understand most of them. Pretty basic concepts of things that he explained on there. Not any too crazy ideas that I'd think a long time about, which maybe that makes it funnier. He was up there describing things that a lot of people get. So Netflix, they do a lot more cuts to the crowds. And because it wasn't like a small theater, it was a big arena, they had cameras all over the place, always like panning through the crowd. So you're never really sure if you're on camera or not. I'm just going to have to wait till the Netflix special comes out and watch it. What is it? Screen by screen, clip, frame by frame. That's what it is. Frame by frame to see if I show up in there. I have to make note of what I was wearing. I was wearing that and anything else. I don't know. Nothing too crazy for it. I was wearing that, and so I'll have to go back and realize who I was with. And the people I was with, I have to make note of it. It would be hard to tell what kind of arena shot it is. I'm sure, like, I don't know, sure, but like people in the front row, which another spoiler, wasn't in the front row next to the stage where they were doing the comedy at. It was a little farther back from that. The people in there when he's like walking through the crowd, things like that. It was fine for it. They'll show up, so they'll be able to pick themselves out. But if you're in the crowd farther back, a real true fan, where it takes more of your net worth to get to the show, probably like percentage. If you like people in the front row, the net worth you spent on going to that show versus people in the back, those net worth percentages might be different. Maybe people in the back, they spent a higher net worth of their net worth to go to that show. People in front will be able to see themselves, but people in 300 levels, only way they're getting on there is if they laughed a a lot and the cameras caught it. I don't know when that's coming out. Obviously, they have to do their editing for it. The director, he told us like beforehand, just like some instructions for it. And when you could tell when Nate was going through some of his jokes, he would start them and kind of like fumble the words, mix them up, which if it was just a regular show, he would probably just keep going. No one would notice it. But because he probably wanted to get it a certain way, he wanted to go back, like double check, make sure he had the wording right and it sounded the way he wanted it to. So it was a regular show, like the things, and it was just like single sentences at the front of it that he would just go back and redo. Wouldn't really notice it if he just kept going for it, or if it was his actual show, he'd say, "Man, I keep messing that line up. I gotta get it better," and then just redo it from there. But he didn't acknowledge the redo portion of it. So that's my potential Netflix debut. Stay tuned for it. I don't know the date of his special, the title of it. I just know whenever Nate's special comes out. And I think it's going on Netflix. That's what they said. It wasn't one where they taped it and they're going to shop it around later. They said from the start, like, it was a Netflix type production for it. Okay. Nice. Got through that. All right. The social, is it social norm, I guess? I was going to say social faux pas, but I don't think that is. Social faux pas, which if I had to spell that, faux pas, not PHO, probably FAUX, PAUX. Is that how you spell it? FAUX, PAUX, faux pas, faux. I have no clue how you go about spelling it. Some French. Great. Goes back to the French again for it. No, I don't know how to spell faux pas. But I think that's when you do something like against like the norm. But I think I'm trying to create social faux pas. Not even create, but I'm being part of a social faux pas. That doesn't sound right at all. I need to stop saying this word because I'm not 100% sure what it means or even give an example of it. But if you do something you're not supposed to, I think that's a social faux pas. And again, supposed to, hazy definition of that. Anyway, a lot of background to say. I think when people sneeze, I'm done saying bless you to them. Thoughts, comments, questions, concerns? I don't think it's really necessary to say that because bless you, again, maybe I'll have to Google it, but no, not going to do that yet. Not going to Google it, just going to guess what it is. Well, like bless you, I think the old wives' tale part of it, which funny, it's always called old wives' tale, never old husbands' tales, because the wives, they're the ones going crazy, things like that, as exhibited by the Salem witch trials. Was it the gluten that messed them up or something? The original celiac disease. Maybe that's where that started at. The whole gluten-free thing is some issue that Salem had in Massachusetts. I'm going to go with that. But old wives' tale of saying bless you, you say it because you lose, I don't know, something with like a person's soul being in trouble or something like that. Lose part of it. I don't really get what that's all about. Or you think they're close to dying because they're sneezing, which sometimes it sounds like they could be. It depends how much of a wind up they give before sneezing for it. I think I don't want to say it anymore because I don't really get the point of it saying bless you after someone sneezes. If you're saying like going about in your day like bless you, bless you, bless you, and it's not from sneezing, I think that has more of a background, more reason than saying it for a sneeze. Someone sneezing just like, okay, you sneezed. Someone coughed. I'm not saying bless you after someone coughs. Someone burps. I'm not saying bless you. The person might say excuse me after sneezing. Coughing, probably not. Burping, I mean, I guess they would for it, which even that's like, what are you trying to be excused from? Trying to show some sort of manners, but if you want to, you want to burp in the first place. So, not really trying to be excused for any reason. I forget who it was. Maybe it was a teacher, or one of my friends told me a teacher said this, but some adult said that after you yawned, you should say, excuse me. So, similar, like, after sneezing, after burping, if you just yawn, just regular tired throughout the day, you should say, excuse me, which Makes sense because a yawn kind of like you have to pause your conversation, kind of distracting. People looking at your uvula, that's the thing hanging back to the throat. I think people are looking at that. If you have a weird shaped one, that's kind of distracting. So yeah, maybe you should say excuse me after that, or maybe when I see someone yawn, I should say bless you because maybe you need it if you're yawning in the middle of the day when there are things to do for it. And saying bless you, I don't know, the point of it really doesn't do anything for me, for them. Yes, I understood you sneezed. Okay, we can move on. You sneezed, next thing. You burped, whatever, next thing. Depends. I don't know, burp's not as worried about because people try to hold those in sometimes. I don't know, except at home, let them rip. Other things, I don't really get it. There's kind of sometimes, well, when you're in a room of people and there's one person that sneezes, and everyone sits there and I assume mentally thinks in their head, okay, is someone going to say bless you? Who has to say it? Is there one designated person in this room that has to say bless you after someone else sneezes? Who's that person? And is it the same person? Is there going to be one designated person? All right, anytime anyone sneezes, you say bless you. Anytime someone does, I don't know, anything else, any burps, you say excuse you. I don't know, something like that. But is there one designated person? Is it switching up? Then even if it is like a one-on-one scenario where you're talking with someone and they sneeze, there's that short like delay in the conversation where the person sneezes and me or just some other person in general kind of, well, yeah, it would be me if I'm having a conversation with someone. The other person sneezes and I'm sitting there like, are you done? Are we waiting for another one? Are you waiting for me to say bless you? That's not happening. You're not dying. You sick? If you're sick from sneezing, then maybe go home and you shouldn't be around other people who'd have to say bless you if you're sick and sneezing. I'm kind of oversaying that to people. And the other thing, and I don't think there's anything that's like, oh, you're supposed to do this. People say it's the nice thing to do. I don't get what's so nice about it. I don't need other people doing it for me. I don't need to say it for other people. So sneeze. All right, move on. Next. Whatever. Other times people sneeze like, oh, you gotta do it into the crook of your arm and stuff like that when you cough. Gross. I don't want that on my clothes, so I usually just aim it down at the ground and kind of like fake cover up my mouth because I don't want it on my arm. And sometimes for a sneeze, it's hard to tell if it's going to be like a wet one, if there's like snot that's going to come out with it. So I was aiming at the ground. And that's good enough because no one should be in that vicinity that close to me anyway. Other times, okay, same bless you. Other things similar to it is when people say sorry for things when they're not really sorry for them. Well, this kind of multiple part thing. People say sorry for doing things and it's like, you're not sorry, you're going to do that again, whatever. And it's sorry. I think people will say it instead of saying excuse me for things. Like it's just their go-to whenever they have an interaction where it's, I usually have it like I'm walking into someone like in a doorway in a hallway or just trying to get away, not be in the other person's way. That's what I right now can think of it happening of I'm about to enter a door. Well, I'm about to open a door and there's someone walking out of it. And excuse me? No. Producer, cut that out. Don't say excuse me. I'm not saying that. But when I'm trying to walk through a door, so I open the door, and then the other person comes out and they say, oh, sorry about that. I don't know if they say oh. Maybe they say oh. They say sorry about that. Two things. One, well, not even two things. I don't know how many things. But you're not sorry about that. You're not sorry about that. And two, there's really nothing to be sorry about. You're just walking through a door. You might have meant to say, excuse me, but you didn't mean to say sorry about anything in general. Also, I don't know, I've had this question for a little bit of time. But when someone dies and you go up to console them and you just say, I'm sorry for your loss, I don't know what you're apologizing for. Are you apologizing because there's something you could have done to stop that? You say you feel bad. And it's like you feel bad that I feel bad. Maybe that's what an empath is. Maybe an empath is doing it. Well, I'm at an impasse because I'm not going anywhere, and you saying I'm sorry doesn't really do anything. If you're saying I'm sorry for you, grieving with you, okay, that's a different thing. But saying sorry is like you did something wrong, you feel bad for it. Okay, then say that. Say I feel bad because you feel bad. I feel bad with you. Things like that. Say I'm sorry for your loss. I don't know. Now I gotta figure out what to say to people because I don't like saying I'm sorry for your loss. It's more, yes, that's an unfortunate thing that happens. There's also a different background depending on if the person's religious, not religious, what they think's going to happen after that, and if you have the same beliefs as that person. Because, no, I'm not going to get into that. Well, what's there really get into? Oh, well, book I'm reading was it Has American Christianity Failed by Brian Wolfmueller. I recommend reading that book. I think I'm like 2/3 of the way through that. I like that book so far. It's by an LCMS pastor. Enjoy reading it. It's helpful for me, and yeah, anyone else out there wanting to read it, I think it's helpful for it. So, has American Christianity failed? The key is the American Christianity part. The American part in there, not Christianity failed, just American part of it, because I guess it's a different kind of religion thing. It's not like a kind of Christianity. You wouldn't go up to someone and say, which maybe you would, maybe I just haven't met anyone, but they say, I'm an American Christian. I don't think you would say that. You say, like, I'm a non-denominational, and it kind of follows this like American Christianity thing. I think like different people from like each type of Christianity can be like grouped into American Christianity. Maybe that's like a Venn diagram type thing, where it was like an intersecting part of religions that are like American Christianity. Anyways, I don't need to get into that. But depending on like what people's thoughts are on the afterlife, be a different way of consoling them and talking with them about it, which not easy. And I haven't had to deal with too much with it, so probably not very good at it either. But if you're not actually sorry for something, don't have to say you're sorry. If you are sorry for it, then say you're sorry. Don't just say it because you just want to say something. If you mean it, then say it. But if you don't mean it, then don't say it. Great. All right. Next thing, what do we talk about? Oh, this one. This one I thought of a couple weeks ago. People, is there a certain amount of time that people should take off the election stickers from their car, or can people just leave them on indefinitely? Yeah, people have bumper stickers on their cars, which I don't know why people do that, why they need to advertise things on their bumper stickers. Unless it's a business write-off and you're advertising for your business. Let me make sure it's on there. If you're advertising for your business, then yeah, it's a write-off. You got to have the advertisement on there. But if you're not, you're just like, I'm really into this thing. Let me put it on my car. Which that could be negative press depending on if you're a good driver or not. Because if you're a bad driver, then you're just giving negative publicity to that. There are those who say, though, no such thing as bad publicity. Publicity's of all kinds is general because people are thinking about you. That could be it as well, unless you get bad Google reviews saying this person is a terrible driver, almost caused an accident, based on that, not recommending their services. That probably would be negative. But for election stickers, like how long do you need to advertise for that you wanted Trump to win in 2020? We're 6 years past that. Maybe take the sticker off your car, which I don't know. I don't think I've had a bumper sticker on my car before. Like I said, didn't really want to advertise on there. Put ideas, ideologies on there, or things I'm into, because I don't really need that. In cars, who knows how long they last for, some longer than others. But there's a sticker. I assume they're all magnetic. Maybe not. Maybe that's a bad assumption to make, because if they were magnetic, then people would just take them off the cars. So maybe there is some sort of adhesive that makes them stick to the car more. But even if they are adhesive, which I haven't done this, but just take a blow dryer out there and that like gets rid of the adhesive part of it and makes it a lot easier to come off. But then you might have some of your paint come off with it. My nose is itchy. I don't think I got any boogers. I got those out before podcast started. But my nose itchy. But anyway, if it's on your car, the adhesive part of it, then get a blow dryer or something and get it off. I do understand the paint part of it being an issue for it. Which, hey, that's me thinking of others. Some of the stickers, like, how long do you have these on here for? And also, is there a difference between if you won the election, can you keep it on for the entire term of that person? Versus if you lost that election, do you have to say, man, we lost this one, I can only have this one on for like a month afterwards? Or is it similar to like signs for political advertisements where you can put them all throughout the city, throughout the election cycle, but then a month after the election, they have to be out, or you start getting fined money where, okay, your person lost the election. You got a month to take this off your car, or else you're going to start getting fined for it because loser. That could be it. There are some signs, which, yeah, you drive through rural parts of states. Man, why is my nose so itchy? I don't think anything's up there. Maybe there is for it. But rural parts, yeah, you'll see some election signs from not 20. You'll see some from 2020. I don't know if I haven't seen any from 2016. Definitely some from 2020 just still left up there for it. And you're surprised no one's taking that down. Or a different advertiser's gone up there to replace it. Or maybe the person who did buy that advertising time, that sign just said, you know what? This election was so important, I'm just leaving the sign up there. Not coming down. Winner, loser, support this person, think they should win in this election that's pretty well over by now. And overturning the results, there might be a political reason to do that, but at this point, like, you lost, move on from it. I saw that. And then election stickers, like, do people put them on for ones besides the presidency? Maybe for governor, I see that, but for local aldermen, congressmen, how many stickers are there for that? I don't think I remember seeing too many of those for it. Usually I just remember seeing like presidential ones, maybe some governor ones, but not many besides that. Not mayor, not police chief or other, not comptroller or any of those really. Okay. So we got one more thing that I'm going to talk about here. I think that's it. Election stickers. There might have to be a limit. I mean, it's your car. Do whatever you want. But after so long time, it's like, after 6 years, if you get to 10 years, it's like, man, even if you did win, like, that's just gloating at this point. Like, you got to focus on the next win. Right now, you're living the past of winning that championship, winning that political position. It's like, focus on winning the next one. Just like, NFL championships. Your favorite championship is the next one, not the previous one. Things like that. All right, backyard debacle. Preface this saying, this is a contentious thing currently in our house because it is pretty fresh happening. Well, currently happening. Man, causes division. So we had some potted plants in our yard. Again, left over from previous owners. Which those previous owners, I don't know if there'll ever be a time where there's not something I blame on them. It might be we're about to sell this house and realtor says, hey, what's going on with this item? And I'll just say, you know what? Previous owner. All of them, not me. I'm not sure. I just kind of lived with it. So spin zone that. But the outside part of it, there's some potted plants. Move those around, which these potted plants are like the worst potted plants. They didn't look good. They were multiple, just literal thorn bushes. They didn't wither and die because we hadn't been watering them. We hadn't been changing the soil. We just kind of left them. Things like that. And yeah. See here. How can I get this to a comedy podcast? Make this, I don't know, whatever. This is all alleged. Anything that gets said, alleged, comedy purposes only. Here's some potted plants. Took them out. The potted plants, I think I got like a couple of thorns in my hands. That hurt, even with multiple gloves on. That was a pain. We got them out, used more lawn care bags than I needed to because they were not fitting in the containers and things that I had. So I had to keep getting more bags. I didn't want to squish them down because they're not well, like leaves. I wanted to squish them down, but because there were just thorns everywhere, I had to not push them down as much because I didn't want to just get poked everywhere. But in the bottom of these, there was still soil and dirt that the plants were in. The weeds didn't change. And she was like, all right, I don't want any of these plants. This dirt, soil, probably has no nutrients. Get rid of it. All right, I did that right away once that decision was made because it's like I just want these things out. I'm mowing the yard. They're always in my way. They're bent all over the place and it gets in my way when I'm taking care of the yard. So I got them out, clip them up, put them away, gonna be taken away tomorrow. Then there's just dirt in the bottom. Like, my yard's covered with dirt already, so I'm just gonna dump this in my backyard. I'm just gonna kind of space it out a little bit. I don't have one of those fancy leveler machines that they use at golf courses or it's special lawn care places have that go, you want to redo your yard and level it? This is what you do. You aerate it, take all this stuff out of there, and then you throw a bunch of sand on there. Then you take this leveling device and go over it to make sure it's all level. Well, I don't have that. So I just had some dirt piles. I tried to rake it out. Then the rake handle snapped. Guess I was raking too aggressively. And I started taking a shovel, spraying it out that way. And eventually, with the shovel and these kind of tools, you can only make it so level. And, side note, P.S. Ashley wasn't home at this point, which that's just a bad idea on her end, leaving me with lawn care tasks to do when she's not around and outside things because this keeps happening. Taking things down, putting things up. She gets surprised whenever she comes home. And sometimes I'm home, she sees it. Sometimes I'm not for it. For this, she wasn't home, so I was just by myself doing lawn care stuff. I'm like, you know what? I take care of this lawn every week. I'm pulling weeds. I'm cutting grass. I'm bagging grass. I'm edging with the trimmer, stuff like that. So then kind of spread it out. And now it just kind of looks like I had a bunch of moles in my backyard, just tunneling around, digging things up, because there's just some higher amounts of dirt than others. There's kind of a mixture, because I guess some pots are just regular dirt, stuff like that. Other ones have this potting mix. There's that white seeds in them. My thought was it's just dirt. I'll spread it out. Eventually it'll get evened out. I'll go over with the mower next week or something and it'll just get even out that way, so I'm not concerned. But in the meantime right now, it does not look the best. There are people who come over and they're looking at our backyard. They might be a little concerned for it. But me, I don't have the most pride in how my yard looks. Kind of yep, there's some grass, there's some dirt. Some grass goes faster than others. I cut it some weeks. It's not the biggest thing I take pride in right now. Because if there's things on the inside where I spend more time versus outside my yard, especially in Texas when it's about to be 100 plus degrees, no, I'm not spending that much time in my yard, so I don't need that much stuff. Out there, I don't need it to look the best. Yeah, I enjoy looking at it sometimes when I'm eating my breakfast. Be like, man, I really owe a lot of money to the bank to pay for all of this. Man, that's nice. Thanks to the bank for giving me all this money and letting me just pay you back so much for it. Thank you for that. But the yard, yeah, there's just a little extra dirt. I'm like, the entire yard is dirt. Just has some grass sticking out of it in some places. So right now we've got some places that don't have grass poking out of it yet. I assume over time, it'll go down. It's not going to stay different mounds and things like that. It'll wash out eventually. It's not going to harden up into a big pile and just be uneven for the rest of time. And if it is, I'll deal with it then. But for now, I'm not. Because I assume that's going to happen. So why put in the extra work of leveling it now if nature's just going to do it by itself? And if it's not, then I'm going to have to level it anyway. Maybe I still want to do it right now. We'll see how this turns out. Maybe I'll have to get Ashley on to explain her side of it. Which, her side of it, she's not taking care of this lawn. I'm the one cutting it, stuff like that. But we'll see how it's going on. It's pretty benign. If there's a fight to happen, I mean, it's not really too much of a fight. It's literally just extra dirt we have in this pots that we don't want. And now you have these pots to put stuff in, so you're welcome. We'll see how this goes. Like I said, maybe we'll get her on to explain her side of it, explain her thoughts, but we'll see if that happens. That'll be it for this episode. Please make sure to like, subscribe, comment, DM, watch PhD TV, watch Pretty Huge Reviews, follow on Instagram, follow on X, vote in the polls, all of that. Thanks for tuning in. Talk to you guys later. Bye.